Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's almost Halloween. It's almost Halloween. Gonna wait for some viewers. Gonna wait for some viewers. Let me back you up a little bit. There we go. There we go, yo. There we go, yo. This is what I feel like right now. It's like my security. He's cute though. Doo-doo-doo. Doo-doo-doo. I gotta tell myself to breathe throughout this video. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, I wish I had my clip. I wish I had my clip. I do have a clip. Hold on, I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it. Because I need to. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh, my hair's so heavy. It so needs to be thinned out. Hey. Hi. Hi, troops. I can't see because you guys are busy writing. You're busy writing. God, I feel like it's everywhere. Hair down, hair up. Hair down, hair up. I got a headache. I feel like there's stuff behind me. Besides all of Mia's blankets. Okay. Top of the morning. Top of the morning. Hi. I need to breathe. I'm ready for this, though. I'm ready for this. Promise. Hold on. I'm looking for... Well, I'm telling myself I'm ready for this. You know me. You know me. Good morning, good morning, I love you. Good morning, good morning. It's thick and heavy and you have a headache. Bummer. 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 So, we'll also talk about when I do start. I'm going to wait for a few more people. Oh, my hair's all over the place. I'm going to timestamp it. I'm going to timestamp it so people know when the read starts. So, I have my own shit to talk about. So, besides that, how's everyone else doing? I'm only going to wait like another minute or so. Here comes my daughter. Good morning. Good. Okay. Let me just see if she's going to run upstairs real quick. I don't think she will, though. Okay. So we're going to talk. I'm good, thank you. I have anxiety. I feel like this is like, I just heard the song Usher, Confessions. Confessions. I feel like, how's it go? In my confessions. It's, yeah, there's always something. But this is important, and yeah, if you're constantly feeling anxious, I'm gonna break all this stuff down step by step by step. Okay. So we're 6 minutes in. So I'd say 6 months ago, 6, 7, 8 months ago, right? Hi. I ended up, me and my friends were all out and about. It was great. I can't believe I gotta own up to this shit. You gotta love spirit, okay? I get it. It's Mercury, but I have a hard time with this because it's my own personal experience, and it's not always easy talking about personal experiences, right? So I was out with some girlfriends, and we ran into a whole bunch of guys all having fun, drinking, getting to know each other. Like we all just meshed, right? It was perfect. It was awesome. We're outside. It was nice weather. Just really getting to know everybody, okay? And towards the end of the night, we were all laughing too, because they were all married, right? And we were like, we were just laughing because here's the situation. I'm gonna kind of break stuff down to you, okay? So we're up here at like a water bar. We turn around, there's tabletops right here. So when we turn around, all the fellas were right there, right? So it's like we're super people, you know. So I turn around and I start conversation because you know me, I start conversation. So we're shooting the shit, we're having a blast. We're telling them their story, they're telling us our story. We had went away for the weekend. None of us were from that location. But we hung out all day, drank, had a good time. Later that night, good morning. Later that now, me and this one particular person, no name, okay, we started chatting. It was just no intentions on messing around or really getting to know each other. Like at this point, we were just so comfortable within this space that it was just me and him talking. Okay. And everybody else was ordering apps, doing all that other stuff, and me and him were outdoors hanging out. I'm telling him my story, he's telling me his story, and I'm thinking in my head like it was just me at this point, me and him, and we were just talking, and not really thinking anything like that. Okay, so we're explaining each other's stories. Hold on. The cat at the door. I was like, how'd she get upstairs? So we're explaining each other's stories. We're shooting the shit. We're having a great old freaking time. We're talking. We're back and forth. We're feeling the chemistry, right? But we're like, I don't think either of us were really thinking anything at the time. We're just kind of like, all right, we're chilling. It was so perfect. The freaking sun was setting. We were on the water. It was just like you know how you imagine certain things as you're like children and how like something will be. It was just a perfect good morning, a perfect scenario, perfect weather, like you name it. So I know his story, he knows my story. We're venting, he knows my story. We're venting, we're enjoying our time together. I'm talking, we hit it off like you wouldn't believe. And with the intentions on, wow, we just made a really good friendship. You know, like we just really connected. It was fantastic. It was almost like really connected. It was fantastic. It was almost like a release, you know. Tell a stranger your problems with no intention on publicly seeing this person again. So we go back to the dinner table, talking some more, talking to more. Now we can feel the chemistry. Dinner table, talking some more, talking to more. Now we can feel the chemistry. I'm getting to know his situation a little better. He's getting to know mine. Um, Next thing you know, we're outside. Got fireworks going off. It was like, whoa. It was one of those moments. Got fireworks going off. It was like, whoa. It was one of those moments, guys. And we started kissing, and it was so just like that, right? Like, don't even know how it happened. It was like, don't even know how it happened. It was in the moment. Needless to say, we had a great night. We didn't exchange numbers. I think just because we were just going with the flow, having a good time, doing stuff like that. I'd also told him, okay, you're welcome. I also told him that I was on YouTube and what I did, and vice versa. So within a few, this, I gotta tell you step by step because it's actually important. The next day, I said to one of my friends, I was like, oh, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, I just kind of like uplifted his world. Like, I just fucked that guy's life up, is like probably my exact words. And she was laughing. She's like, no, why do you say that? And I'm like, because we bonded, we connected. I felt like I was a catalyst, in a situation, because, in a situation, because, not to tell too much of his personal stuff, but he was in a situation, he was in a marriage where they weren't happy, and they agreed to just continue to be together for reasons that I'm not going to talk about, right? I'm going to tell you my side without butchering his. I'm going to tell you my side without butchering his, because he's an amazing man. So I was like, well, I just fucked that guy's life up, right? And she's just like, no, Court, don't look at it that way. I'm like, she's just like, no, Court, don't look at it that way. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, the one thing I've told myself my whole entire life since I was an adult, not to mess with someone who's married or with someone. Like, you don't do it. It's wrong. I've been put in that situation before. I've never done it. I've been put in that situation before. I've never done it. Okay. Until I actually did it. But in the midst of that connection and that kiss, it was unbelievable. And we weren't thinking about consequences. We weren't thinking about other stuff. It was just a moment, and it happened. Now, was it designed and destined for us to come together? Yeah, but not to pursue something that was no good. Wouldn't really work out. So I knew it. I was just like, oh, son of a bitch. I was like, oh, son of a bitch. I was like, what just happened? What just happened? What did I just do? Like, good thing no numbers were exchanged. Like, it was something like that. Am I like really repeating? Or can you some of you hear me clearly, or am I just repeating? It has a lot to do with my energy too. And me having a hard time owning up to this shit, because I say to myself, like, they always put me in situations so I can explain. And then I was like, well, that's silly. Like, did they set me up in that situation? Yeah, but I also pursued it. Okay. So on me too, right? It's not the universe's fault that I decided to pursue something. You remember this story? I never told you this story. It sounds real familiar to you. You must have been in this story somehow. I've never told this story. Okay. So this is why I have to tell you every detail on certain things step by step. So whether you guys judge me or not, it is what it is. You know. Um then judge all you want. But it's important to explain to you, because so many people justify these situations. And it's like, you can hear me fine? Okay, so for the ones where it's like repeating, I don't know what to tell you, because other people can hear me perfectly fine. How many people can hear me perfectly fine? Okay. So it's repeating because it's like, probably because I kept repeating a cycle I shouldn't have repeated. Okay. So, anywho, it's important for me to tell you step by step so you realize, because you guys try to justify this step by step thing too, right? So it is what it is. So he emails me, okay, a week later, a few days later. I was like, oh, I knew this was gonna happen. Like, have you met me yet? I knew it was gonna happen. All right. So we're going back and forth. We're talking. We're reaching out to each other now, and it's getting more intense. It's getting more, you just know when it's gonna go somewhere. And I kept telling myself, like, no freaking way. Like, no way can we do this. Like, I was just like, my morals, my belief system, like, no, you're married. Like, not a thing. So we started to be friends, but that friendship just, it led, I got the goosebumps. It just led to more, because there's passion. We connected, and it was a spiritual connected. So he's spiritual himself. So he's spiritual himself. So when two spiritual people connect, it's insane, right? So now I'm like making excuses, and he's like, well, I'd really like to see you, can we sit down and like talk about it, what happened, because I'm just baffled, and I'm thinking to myself, like, ah, fuck, like, a bit baffled myself, but like, I knew this wasn't a good idea, right? So what did I do? I went and I saw him, and the connection was like even more stronger. And we talked, and we were like, we really can't do this. Like, it's not good. And he told me a little about his scenario, and how he's not intimate with his wife, but I'm here for XYZ and 1, 2, 3 XYZ. So I tried so many times just to get to know him without letting my morals and my integrity get in the way, which is the number one rule, like number one fail right there. Okay. Epic fail that I thought I could disregard my morals and just see where it led. Okay. So that's the first wrong thing I kind of got myself into. I tried to justify the fact that they weren't intimate as being okay. Now, mind you, it depends on who you are. Any average Joe can just say, well, I'm not intimate with so and so and blah, 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 blah. Okay. I know certain stuff, can feel certain stuff. So I know there was not any sharing like that, but there was still sharing. But at the same time, I was still sitting here justifying my shit, right? So he must have thought I was freaking crazy because for like 3 months it would break up, get back together, break up, get back together. Like I, like I can't do this. Like my morals are screaming at me no. And he's like, well, he's like, I really do respect that. He's like, because that just shows your, your integrity. I got a lot of respect for that. And I was like, okay, cool. Couldn't keep our freaking hands off each other. Couldn't stop texting. It now became routine. Okay. It now became, I don't want to lose you. Just stuff like that. So we kept finding ourselves back in the situation of talking. And now things are getting really like, now they're moving. And it's like, okay, when's the next time I can see you? Yada, yada, yada. Oh, we'll play it by ear, blah, 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 blah. So then again, I was like, play it by ear. I'm like, no, this is not how I have relationships. Like, I need an emotional relationship. I need that balance. I need to see you in order for me to feel like this is going to work. Like, you need to see someone not every day, but on a regular basis, to keep it going, to keep the adventure, to keep it there, right? My opinion. So I dismissed that the first time around because then it went back to, well, I have this weekend and then I can't do this weekend and then I don't know if I can really get away, because married, right? Like she would get suspicious. So I'm thinking to myself, like, another red flag, like, shutting it down. What did I do? I shut it down. Right back to the same old shit. Blah, 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 blah. Texting back and forth. And now, once again, we got right back into the same situation. And I'm just like, here we are again, And then, like, the next month turned into, like, the next month. It ended at, like, the 3.5 month mark, okay? Where I finally was just like, I can't do it anymore because it's wrong. I got to the point where I dismissed the wife, okay, because of what I was told. And there was just so many little things in between that really got the best of me. Like when we would go out and about, he wouldn't hide me. And he always said to me, I'm not going to hide you when I'm with you. I'm proud to be with you. And it shouldn't be like that. And I never really understood that because I'm like, you're risking getting caught. Like you're risking things just crashing down and crumbling, right? And so we would do things in public all the time. But that's one thing I never really understood. You know what I mean? Like, how can, like, we might as well just walk around your block then, like, and purposely get caught. Like, you're willing to risk, bringing me out in public and doing all this and anybody seeing somebody, but yet you can't go to your girl, your wife, and break it down. Like, it's not the first time he had done this previously too, but it was a long time before that. So he found himself in this scenario again, and he swore he would never do it again. But the way we connected, right? But so I justified that too, because I was like, oh, he's lost all of this. He's lost half of everything before. Like I don't want to put him in that situation. I try to back off then too. You know what I mean? Like, and I couldn't. So again, I try to justify that. Like, oh, he's been down this road. Like, he really wants to make sure, you know, he's very cautious. And I took his cautious as, okay, he's been down this road before, when I should have took that caution as, of course any married man is going to be fucking cautious. You know what I mean? Like, ding dong, like, cautious because you don't want to get caught. Like, there was so many back and forth with all my feelings and how things were going down. And then finally, like the third time, he's like, third time where it's like, I can't do this anymore, because my morals were screaming. Everything at this point is like screaming. Because I said to him, can I see you next weekend? Or can I see you next week? However it went down. And like, oh, I can't, I got this going. I said, well, I can't do it the following weekend because I got that going. I said, so you got to tell me I can't see you for like 4 weeks? You know, like, that's not going to cut it for me. Like, so we started talking, and it kind of turned into a little bit of an argument. And he's like, are we going down this road again? And I was like, you know what? I'm fucking done. Because now I'm at the point where I'm telling you how I feel. And you think I'm arguing with you. So that ended that. Blocked, done. Okay. I should have never have let it even happen for 3.5 months. Ever. Like, where are my morals? Where were my integrity? Where was it all? Okay. It wasn't there because I tried to justify so many things. Okay. And at the end of the day, I am telling you, hands down, 100%. Nobody can ever be all in if somebody is still in a legal contract, if somebody is still in a marriage, or somebody is still with somebody for a long time and they keep saying, eventually I'm going to leave, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. In the meantime, I am telling you, ladies, it will never, no one will ever be all in unless they walk away from their marriage. And another reason why I've been bringing this up to you, another reason why I'm telling you this story, is because I've been seeing this type of stuff on the board. Okay. I chose to continue something I knew I shouldn't have, and I did. And I had to sacrifice my feelings, my love, that connection. Because there's no way you can just remain friends, not with a connection the way I had. It wasn't possible. Tell yourself you can, but you can't. Okay. Now, if me and him are meant to be scenario, if that was the case, then eventually, or he would have already been back and left his wife. I have to stop justifying he doesn't want to step out of it because he's already been through this. I can't pity him. It's how he feels. If you're not happy, you shouldn't be in that situation, period. Okay. But everyone learns at their own pace, their own way. Can't force someone to change. You can't force someone to leave a situation, you know. And so finally he kept telling me, can't you just be in the moment? Can't you be in the moment? And I'm thinking to myself, haven't you met me yet? Like, I'm all about that too, but like, if I don't think about the future, if we don't think about this, if we don't think about that, how are we ever going to proceed? Because I'm not going to stay in a situation where it's stagnant and me and you just meet up. We talk every day and we're each other's comfort. And then we just meet up whenever. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't work that way. Like, it got to the point, guys, where like at one point we would talk all day and he'd be at work and it would disrupt work, sometimes my work, you know. And then I noticed when he got home, like, I barely heard from him, you know. So I'm thinking to myself, another red flag. Like, okay, so now you're playing house. Okay, like, everything told me, everything in my mind and my heart told me, let it go. But I justified everything. I let him justify everything. And it sucks, guys, because Whether it's meant to be or not, right now it's done. It's over. It was over months ago. Didn't really want to talk about it. Didn't want to be that person. But I also know if I didn't talk about it, especially with Mercury coming up, I can't help so many people because I've been seeing it on the board for months. And in order for me to help, I kind of got to explain and realize we do make mistakes. And it does suck and it is painful. And you do feel like you're trapped and you can't get anywhere. And there's tension, there's there's unreliability, there's only so much time, so it's like when somebody tells you they're all in but they're married, they're not all in, guys. It doesn't work that way. Okay, you have to sacrifice. You have to step out of it. Okay, now it started off great, like I'm saying. So it's like, here we go. It's like the mental brain is trying to justify situations that are wrong, you know? So I do understand why people find themselves in these situations because it's so easy to, especially depending on what one tells you and one what. I gotta take Lucy downstairs. Come on, Goose. Come on, let's go see Alana. Come on. Ready to go down there? So we do get put in destined situations because who's to say he's not my destiny? Who's to say, right? We don't know. But in order for something to become positive and realistic, you have to act upon these things realistically. You know what I mean? Like it is what it is. Like the way we met and the way things went down, it is like freaking amazeballs. It was like a freaking fairy tale, guys. And it's like I even said to Spirit, like, and I used to say to him plenty of times, like, if I was not drinking that night, there's no way I would have done this. Another reason why the day went the way it did. Now, I'm not blaming this on Spirit, and I'm not blaming it on, oh, it was so much drinking, I didn't know what I was doing. Bullshit. I knew exactly what I was doing, but it was a lot easier for me to get lost in the moment. Okay. So, and I think like almost every time I was with him, I was drinking. And I don't normally do that. You know what I mean? So maybe it was my own way of justifying it or making the situation better. I don't know. Okay. I'm just giving you examples and breaking things down, how things went throughout the months and why I kept justifying a situation that was not okay. And I have so many clients that are in this situation. And I always say to my friends, I'm like, I just don't understand why there's so many people that find themselves in this situation. Like, I don't get it. Like, why do they take that chance? Why do they take the risk? Why do they do that? And then sure enough, I found myself in that situation and I realized, well, this is how this happens and this is why it happens. Right. And could I have stayed and continued it and really got to know him and took trips over the freaking end of summer, fall, winter? Could I have done all that? Yeah. But how do I know he would have ever left or when he was going to leave? I was never going to get 100%. And it's like my self-worth is so much more important, my integrity, and I dismissed it temporarily for passion because it was so intense And it was exciting. And at times it felt dangerous and liberating, and just somebody who really loved me. And he generally loves me. And I generally love him. But that doesn't make the situation okay. There's different kind of affairs. You know, everybody's situation's different. Maybe somebody won't leave a wife because of children or financial reasons or for health reasons. It doesn't matter. You have to stop justifying why and staying in that situation. Because if you're in this situation, I've been doing this for a year and a half with a lot of my clients, and I'm telling you, they keep finding themselves in the same situation, the same cycle, and things get better, and then they take a step back and things get better. And it's like, at the end of the day, nothing can progress or move forward unless somebody actually leaves the marriage. Now, I know we do have a situation on the board where it is rough because some of you guys, it could be a destined situation, but that destiny still won't get you on that path until you do the right thing. Like, leave the situation. If it's meant to be, it will be. It will come back. Or it won't, because it wasn't meant to be. I had lessons. He had lessons. I knew the day after, I was already in a lesson. You know? And I justified it. Like, it wasn't cheating. How is it cheating if he's not intimate with his wife? You know what I mean? Like, I justified that shit. So you guys can't be justifying this. It was a massive lesson, and it's a massive lesson for you to take yourself out of that equation and to block it, to shut it down. Whether they stopped communicating, whether you stopped communicating, it's not, hey, let's get together and talk about this in person. No, that doesn't work. That doesn't work either, okay? Because you're going to get lost within it again, okay? So it's like arguing over phone messages, arguing over morals, arguing over this, arguing over that. But at the end of the day, we just continued to comfort each other. We didn't want to let go. And it was nice and it felt good. But sometimes you got to take yourself out of fantasy land and really think about the future. And that's why sometimes you can't live in the moment with situations like that. You know, you can't. You would stay in fantasy land. It wouldn't work. So I'm not proud with how it went down. I'm not proud that I chose to put myself in that situation. And I chose to justify it. Okay. And it was even harder in the end because in the beginning I knew it was wrong with my morals and what I stood for and the situation I had previously gotten myself out of. And that was a shit show. So it was like somebody came along and I don't know, it wasn't a rebound thing, but it felt good. It felt nice to connect with somebody like that. And it was so much harder because it was spiritual. So like here I am making all these excuses. And at the end of the day, when I knew better, I still got hurt because I had to sacrifice someone that I loved and I knew that he loved me. But I knew nothing could move forward. I knew that there was no way 100%. I'm all in, babe. I'm all in. You're not. You can't be. You can't be because you can't even tell me when's the next time we can see each other because, you know, your wife's not used to you going out. Like, right then should have been like, and every time a red flag hit like that, I shut it down. So then I noticed he started to become really careful with how he would proceed and how he would word things, okay? Because he knew that my morals would kick in the minute something sounded like a red flag. So then, like I said, he became very careful with how he approached me and how he said things. So a little narcissistic, yeah, okay. Regardless, it was a very hard scenario and I had to sacrifice and it hurt and it was painful. And I still think about it and it's painful. But if you're in this situation, you have to walk away. It does not serve you. You have to walk away. I don't care if this person keeps telling you they're 100% in, or they keep telling you, I'm going to leave so and so. If somebody's putting a timeline on when they're going to leave someone, that's another huge red flag. You know, and then it's like, and then you feel bad for leaving, or vice versa, however it works. But it's like, you can't. You have to come first. Your morals, your integrity, what you stand in, what your belief is, like what you know you deserve. You can't have any of that if you're with somebody who's taken. So I felt the need to tell you guys, with probably Mercury and all, but another reason is because it's on my board. And when this person comes back during Mercury, or when they decide to come back, or if they do, right? Everyone's in a different scenario. Do you talk to them? Do you not? You know, do you, I was going to say hear them out or not? It's like, I just said the same thing though, right? So it's like, you're better off blocking and moving forward, and like basically tell yourself, if it's meant to be, it will be. But right now I'm on my own, and it is not a thing. You can't sit here with a vision of the future. You can't sit here with a vision only if. You can't do that, because you're keeping yourself in stagnant energy. And especially if they're not talking to you. Every scenario is different, right? But like, I'm telling you, if somebody is telling you that they're 100% in, but they got a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a marriage, they're not. You have to know that. You have to implant that, embed that in your head. The seed is not growing. Nothing will ever grow. Think about it. For those who have been in it for years, or months, or you're just finding yourself in this situation, like, it ends up being extremely painful in the end. Extremely painful. Okay. So hang in there, you know, like, just don't find yourself in these situations again. Like, be smarter than that. I never thought in a million years I would find myself in that situation, but again, I justified it. And this is not, oh, it's just your scenario core. Everyone else is different, so it's going to work for me. No, it won't. No, it won't. You know? So, unless they were to leave the marriage, it doesn't work. You know? We didn't lie to each other, but at the end of the day, it was still a lie. You know? So, it's been a while, but like, all you guys' support, like, it's just hard, and it still hurts. Hurts a lot. I'm very disappointed with myself. I went against all my morals. So, guarantee I won't ever find myself in that situation again. It's not a thing. I won't allow it. You know? So, we all find ourselves in situations, and you got to be strong enough to remove yourself from them. And it sucks that we do learn lessons the hard way. And this guy is amazing. Honest to God, I can't even look back and say anything bad about this person. you know? I'm more disappointed with myself for justifying the situation and letting it go on for 3.5 months before it was like, can't do it anymore. And especially me, I feel like this, I feel like that, I feel like this. And it came to the point where it's like, one of the last things you said to me in the last conversation we had was, here we go again. And it's like, so disappointing. So disappointing you would say that to me. So if you guys continue to stay in your situation, you mark my words, it won't work. Even if he left his wife for some scenarios, not mine, but even if like someone you're with, you know, left their wife and finally was like, you know, like, and then just went straight to you, straight into another relationship, straight to moving in, straight to doing this, that would be an epic fail too. Because it wasn't done properly, it wasn't done the right way. That's why that shit happens all the time. And people don't understand why. Because it's like you're leaving one situation and bringing that same emotional, devilish energy that you're unaware of into another one, so they don't work. You know? So in my case, that wouldn't have been the case, but I know with a lot of my clients that tends to be the case. And you guys thought the issue at that point was the marriage. That wasn't the issue at that point. You know, it was plenty of other things. But you know, and I say with my situation, you know, you want to stay in your situation out of comfort and routine. You can't teach everybody all these things. People learn on their own time. But at the end of the day, I wish him the best. I want him to be happy. I want him to leave his marriage, not even to come from me. I want you to leave your marriage because you're not happy and you're not content and you have so much life to live. Go find yourself. Go explore. Go do this. Go do that. If you know you're not happy and you're not intimate and you pretty much just have a friendship within the house, you're not happy. You know, you're telling yourself it's convenient and there's so many reasons why we should stay together, but you're taken away from your life. You're taken away from your future. You know, and I think everything with me went down the way it was supposed to go down because it's also, you know, I got my lessons and he's got his, but it's also a wake up call for him. Like, wow, you know, like I fell in love again. I lived life. I felt alive again. Is there a lot of questioning back and forth? Was it real? Was it not real? Of course, everyone's going to be in that illusionary, you know, fantasy concept here and there, but like, he needs to prioritize himself, you know, so it's like, it's his own lesson, you know, to go live out the rest of your life happily. Not necessarily with me, just happily in general. You know, like being who I am, it'd be nice one day, even if we found someone else and remarried, but we remain friends to the point where it's like, wow, what, like, you really taught me, you know, self-respect and self-worth and life and passion and all these things again. And whether you took me back or not, or whether I move forward or not, however it goes down, like, just to know he learned the right way. But that, again, that's not on me. That's just me wanting the best for him, right? I wasn't dealing with a dick. Some of you guys have been in the situation where it's been like years off and on and you're dealing with a massive dick, right? But it's like, they probably pay your bills, they buy you this, they buy you that. I didn't have that type of situation, Joe. It wasn't for the purpose. Me and him was, it was an emotional relationship. We helped each other, even though we didn't really help each other. There were so many red flags throughout the whole thing, we just didn't pick up on it, or we picked up on it and we blatantly ignored them. But we comforted each other because we were both lacking that intimacy, that feeling, that passion, the comfort, you know? And it wasn't like, oh, I was lacking like that, like I had to go out and meet somebody. I'm very good on my own. Been on my own for a long time. Very independent, very comfortable with being with myself and who I choose to share relations with. I don't just jump into something because there was lack of comfort. So it kind of wasn't like that, if that makes sense. But we definitely comfort each other because it is that one thing in our lives that we did lack, is because it really was such a special connection. It really truly was. You know, there wasn't, the only bullshit, the only outside stuff was our own thoughts, our own morals. You know, so just be careful, because I understand now why it happens a lot more than it should, and why they last for so long, and why it's so hard to let go. And once you start justifying shit, you know you're going down the wrong road. You know? So, shame on you, shame on me. I want to say shame on me, maybe shame on you. Depends, right? But for me, it was shame on me, because I definitely knew better. But we all learn from our mistakes. And I don't want to look at it as a mistake, more of a learning curve, but it was still a mistake, you know? Well, I really don't feel like it was a mistake. So does that mean I'm still in denial? We chose to do it. You know what I mean? It was wrong. And that's it. Does that make sense? I had the experience. I don't regret it. Won't ever do it again. You know? So is it a mistake? I don't know if you would call it a mistake. I don't know. Because I found love. I found myself. I stood up for my beliefs. I sacrificed. There was happiness, there was pain. You know, definitely wrong, but he wasn't a mistake. You know, so it wasn't easy, but I did find myself in that situation. So if you're in it, stop justifying the situation, please. The universe, you know, were we designed to come together? Yeah. But we also both knew what's wrong and what's right. We know the difference is right and wrong. We chose wrong. You know, and we paid for it. So they definitely put people in your path for you to make choices, and sometimes you follow them and sometimes you walk away from them. I think in this lesson that we both went through, we both learned, you know, something extremely valuable. I know he wasn't looking for somebody. He's not an habitual cheater. It's just every cheating situation is different, and I'm not justifying that aspect of it or justifying that for him. I know him well. I just know it's not what he's about. He didn't expect to meet me. Was he soul searching at the time he met me? Yeah, it all made sense. You know what I mean? But his lesson is also sacrifice too. And maybe one day he'll do that. Because in return, he's going to have complete happiness. Whether it's me or something else, it doesn't matter. You know? So, you'll find yourselves in these situations here and there. I'm going to run to the bathroom and then I'm going to pull a couple cards for you, but it's hard. It's a very hard situation. It's hard to leave the situation. It's, you question why did I do this? Why did it happen? Sometimes you just try to figure out why, but you gotta stop. You gotta stop after the whys. It doesn't matter why. It really doesn't. It happened. The poor wife, yeah. Absolutely. But I know in a lot of the situations, it's not the first time someone cheated, and it was also the lesson's wife, the wife's lesson to leave the situation the first time it happened, and not to go back to something because of comfort, stability. So she failed. She failed in her lesson too, and so didn't he. Everyone fails. That's the damn Five of Swords. Everyone fucking fails. Okay? Do you think that when my husband cheated a few times, do you think that girl gave a shit? Probably not. I gave a shit. I did. But they weren't intimate. They weren't having that type of thing. See, here I go justifying it again. That's what I learned not to do. But I justified it. Okay? Does she still get hurt? Yep. Absolutely. Because even though her and her husband are intimate, they have a contract. They have stuff verbally. This is how it's going to be. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it still would hurt. But I will tell you, I can't pity anybody in this party because everybody gets hurt. Everybody should have learned a lesson. I feel like I'm the only one that learned. She didn't find out about it. But it's not the first time it had happened, right? So that first time, and then whether she begged or not to have someone back, I don't know their scenario per se, right? But it was her lesson to not put herself in that situation again. And she chose to. Okay. So, like I said, I gotta run to the bathroom, but yeah, it does suck because somebody in this situation does get hurt when somebody finally finds they're happy. But at the same time, it was designed that way because that person truly is not happy. Neither of them, I can tell you 100%, were happy in their situationship. And that's not just me assuming. That's me knowing. And I think that's another reason why I continue to justify. Be right back. Once somebody breaks that type of trust, guys, especially within a marriage, it's hard to ever get that back. You know, like when my husband cheated, another reason I never cheated my whole life. I never cheated on anyone. But like I just cheated on myself in that last situation a little while ago. But not the current, but the previous one. The whole story I just told you, right? So I don't know if it's possible, and you guys should write if it is or not. But to be honest with you, I was never able to fall back in love with him. Not the way I originally loved him. Like something was taken. I think the only way that works is if you guys split for a good amount of time, years, and find each other, and then maybe you get a chance of coming back and rekindling, you know. But I got clients where like the wives, if the husband was a cheater or whatnot, but the wife took him back, would always be like, I accused him again of going out. Oh, who are you going to go see? Who and who? What are you going to go do? Go sleep with this one and that one? You don't get over it. You don't get over betrayal like that. You don't. But that's their lesson that I try to explain to my clients. That's your lesson to leave. It's not theirs. You're going to continue to stay in this cycle until you figure out you're the one that has to leave the scenario. So, at the end of the day, like I said, I hope for his own sake he leaves his situation and seeks happiness, and not to pursue me, to pursue his happiness, because he's going to be reliving this life over and over and over, same shit, until he figures it out. So it sucks we find ourselves in these situations. And we justify such shitty situations. And I'm seeing it on my board again. I see you guys agreeing with Sarah right now. She says there's no man out there that would be faithful. I don't believe that. I think there is men. Well entitled to our opinion. But of course there's men out there that can be faithful. Are you kidding? You could say the same thing about women. Okay? I think somebody just gets hurt from a past experience, and you're scarred, you're traumatized. Look at Michael stood up for himself. You're talking to one right now, Sarah. There's men out there. Plenty of men that are faithful. And there's plenty of men that, I think if they find someone and they decide to pursue it, they do leave their situation. There is some really great men out there, with my situation, I don't think they discussed, can we sleep with other people? I don't think it was like that. I think they just agreed to stay together, and for their own reasons that I'm not disclosing, you know what I mean? And what is the point of staying in a situation if you need to discuss that type of stuff? I don't get it. That's not me though. I won't find myself in that situation again. So if a man or a woman ever tells you they're 100% in, but they're married, they can't truly be 100%. They can't truly give you 100% of their heart. They can't, you know what I mean? So if you've never been with a man that's faithful, that's because you keep finding yourself in the same cycles over and over and over. Because once you give yourself enough self-worth and self-respect, you will find that right person. I would never want to think like that. I would never want to think I could never trust another man, or I could never find a man that was gonna never be faithful. That's your own. It's your karma. It's a trauma that you probably underlined. Like, that is a miserable way of thinking, and I love you guys dearly. I truly do. But you got to get that out of your head. You're not going to find that right one or miss the right if you keep throwing that negativity out to the universe. It's like what you put out there is probably what you're going to expect and what you're going to get. There's plenty of people out there that are faithful and loyal and true. And especially when you meet that right one, you will have all that. You won't have to question it. I didn't have to question the one I was with. Honest to God, I didn't. But I knew at the end of the day, I couldn't get 100%. And that's it. Sacrifices need to be made. And if he wasn't going to sacrifice, then I needed to sacrifice. And of course, he wasn't ready after 3.5 months to leave his situation. He looked at it as being foolish and not practical. Well, I'm very spiritual, so I can look at it completely different. You know, I'm not saying rush in and move in with me, but you can be on your own and figure out what you want, because you know you're in a no good scenario and you know you want more. You know, so it just depends on you guys' scenario and how it goes down. He has to get over his own karma too. Oh, this happened before and I lost half of everything. So what, he just assumes it's going to happen again? And you know me, blank slate. You know, like, I don't think about that. Well, of course he has to, because he's more practical and logical. Right brain, left brain. You know? I've also learned to fight my battles. I've also learned to have a blank slate. I also learned to be more optimistic. I also learned to take risks, knowing that I can get hurt, but to do it anyway, because in the moment, it feels right. And my soul just knows. My soul knows. His soul knows. But there was too much, I don't want to speak to him per se, but like fear, anxiety, timing for him. Time doesn't exist for me like that. I'm ready to, knowing my soul was ready to jump in if he was willing to jump in. But he wasn't willing to jump in, because in a practical, logical manner, and because based on his past, he couldn't do it. He couldn't take the leap. He couldn't take the leap of faith, and that's it. And I can't judge him for that. Truly love him for who he is. We just, very different. It's like one of those things I read the other day, same destination, but different viewpoints on how to get there. And there's no point arguing or making it work or giving it time in between, because I know spiritually how it works, and at the end of the day, I'm not getting 100%. So why give something if you know you're not giving 100? It's important for you guys to remember that. Why give to something where you're not getting 100 out of it? So, and you never know where this story will lead me one day. But right now, it is over. It is shut down. I sacrificed. If he was ever to sacrifice a situation and come back, then I'll figure it out then. It is what it is, troops. And in order for anything to work out for you in your life, you have to be able to give 100% to whatever that is. So if you know you're not getting 100%, why are you doing it? And it's like we all blame all these other people too with third-party situations. We blame this girl. We blame this guy. Oh, what a douchebag. I can't believe she keeps interfering. Guys, your man is just as much to blame. And you're just as much to blame because you've allowed it. And you've constantly taken the person back. Been there, done that. If the two of them can't keep their hands off each other and you're dealing in some shit like that, that's your lesson right there too, of self-respect and self-worth. That's not like anything like my situation I just explained. Like this is, I'm talking like baby daddy, baby girlfriend, baby blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? And it's like baby mama drama. Eliminate it. Stop playing the blame game. Because you're the one to blame. Because you hold that knowledge. You know you're not getting something. You know you're not getting 100%. So if you leave yourself in a situation where you know you're not getting 100%, then you get what type of karma gets delivered to you. And you will repeat that cycle over and over and over. So, you know, 10 of Wands. You gotta lay the weight down. Gotta lay the weight down. It's like all being tangled in that. I was all in that. Tension, anxiety, frustration, passion. Lay it down. It came to the point where it affected my everyday energy, my thoughts, my insight, my work. And for what? For being in the moment of comfort. It's like we knew our souls were connected. We knew who we were to each other. Okay. But he kept saying here and there, you don't know me. You don't really know me. You got to get to know me. Buddy, I know you. I know you more than anybody. I know you probably better than you know yourself. And that's vice versa. And if there is certain things that come up I disagree with, we talk about it. We work it out. We don't run from it. Or we just say, oh, I don't like that about you, so this isn't going to work. That's childish. When you know two souls are meant to be together, you do what it takes, as long as that is that reciprocity. You know, your souls won't let you down. There's a difference between just passion and wants. When your soul knows that other soul, you guys will be happy you push through certain stuff. You know? So to me, that was just an excuse. You don't know me? No, I know you. To me, that was an excuse. But in the practical world, I don't live in the practical world. But to him in the practical world, it made sense. To people who are spiritual, that's called conditioning. Right? So you can see why I battled back and forth, trying to justify certain shit. But at the end of the day, you have to stop justifying. If you know it's wrong, it's wrong. If you choose to do wrong, it will never end right. Ever. The Emperor. So again, some of you could be dealing with someone older who's married, but it's like you got to lay the weight down. Or this person could be feeling this heavy weight too because you're no longer there, or they're in a situation that's just no good, right? It just depends. But I'm tired of speaking for other people. When we know better, we know right from wrong. You know? So the 10 of Cups came out too. Reversed. So 2 10s. They're at their wits' end too. And they got the Devil too. And another 10. So now they got 10, 10, 10 with the Ace of Swords. So it's toxic within a household. It's too much. It's affecting your work. It's affecting your love life. It's affecting your everyday routine. This is emotional toxicity too. This is somebody who has emotional baggage. This is somebody who has emotional stuff to recognize, to own up to make better. There's no point in me really reading. This is what's been coming out on the board lately, and I was like, I was never gonna tell my story. But it only makes sense, right? I'm on a new chapter. I started YouTube telling a story. So now, in order for me to move forward, Gonna tell a new story, I guess, because it's on the board left and right. If it's meant to be, it will be, but you still have to walk away. You can't be like, oh, if it's meant to be, it will be, and I'm gonna stay in my situation, and ooh, they're gonna leave their wife, but ooh, they're gonna leave their husband. What was I on? What was I on, and what color was it? Because I took the wrong color, apparently. You know? So, you gotta get yourself out of situations like this. Like, lay the weight down. You have anxiety, you have tension, you have this, you have that. You pinpoint why, and you lay it down. Is it gonna hurt? Is it gonna suck? But if you really want your happily ever after, and because everyone can really have that, you're still gonna have your bad days here and there, but you will live a fulfilled life if you're true to who you are. You really truly will. Stop justifying why someone is not giving you 100%. Stop justifying why it's okay for you, why you think it's okay that you don't deserve 100%. And don't be like me and be like, okay, I'll stay in it 6 more months or 3 more months or another year to give this person time for them to really get to know me. Don't do that. It doesn't work that way. Your souls already know each other if it's meant to be. It doesn't work that way. Because in the meantime, you're stopping yourself from truly being happy and what you truly deserve at the end of the day. So I know what women and men do to push through and to justify situations. I understand why it happens now and how easily it happens and how easily you can be manipulated emotionally, mentally, physically. I know. So you got to think about this stuff. And it's not easy. If you're not getting 100%, it has no business being in your life. It really, truly doesn't. That's a harsh lesson, and it hurts. I've been repressing this shit for a while. I'm not gonna cry over it. I'm not gonna do this. Suck it up. So, the minute you lay the weight down, you're gonna feel so much better. You know, the pain doesn't go away right away. Sometimes it's instant frustration or illusion, you know, but like once you put the weight down, it is gonna be a relief once you leave the situation that you know you're not getting 100% on. Now we know, I'm talking when it comes to love, not necessarily work, right? Love. I repressed that shit for way too long without even realizing it. You know? But you know how hard it is to walk away from someone where you know your souls belong together? Do you know how hard that is? You really won't truly know until you actually do it. And it's painful and it sucks. But each time you learn a lesson like that, you get stronger and stronger. You won't find yourselves in these situations. You know, the right ones at the right time, people, place, a thing come along. And then you truly get what you deserve. You know, it's really easy to get swept away with fantasy. It truly is. Anybody have any like questions? I can try to give some advice. But like I said, I like at the end of the day, I really think if you know you're not getting 100%, you're not in a good scenario. And because I try to justify that too, like, oh, he went silent for a few days, or here and there, the connection was a little this and that. And at first I got pissy and I was like, oh, you want to put me on hold? Not putting me on hold, right? But then I try to justify it and be like, well, I had my moments, maybe he's having his, or this and that. And then I was like, Court, fucking stop justifying something where you're not getting 100%. You have to tell yourself this. You know what I mean? So I get how you continuously stay in these patterns, and like another month goes by and it's real good, then this happened and it was not so great, but then there's more good than there is bad. Don't do it. Don't do it. Yeah, if you don't want to walk away, then you're going to continuously just stay in the cycle. And that's it. You can take yourself out of the cycle and feel the pain. Or you can stay in the cycle and still feel the pain. That's how it is. I'm not kidding you. Here and there, you get some moments. Here and there doesn't cut it. But if here and there cuts it for you, then you're going to continuously find yourself in the same cycle, just different patterns, but you still won't be able to escape the cycle. You'll still be the same problem at the end of the day, or the same problem in 3 months from now, or the same problem in 4 months from now. You know? You think it was easy for me to come on here and tell you guys that I got myself in that situation in front of thousands of people? Nope. But I have your answer to get yourself out of it, to find yourself again. So many people don't want to own up to their own shit. Too busy about what other people are going to think, or how someone's going to judge, or how somebody's going to criticize. And I'm at the point where I was like, I don't give a shit. If you guys are strong enough to understand and you love it and you're not judging, then you're going to understand. Right? But there's plenty of people that are my followers that might see this and be like, I cannot believe you did that. You know, I can't believe I did that. But I'm strong. And I took myself out of something I truly didn't want to take myself out of. So at the end of the day, you have to be strong enough to make sacrifices. And that is your way out. And that's it. And then you can start to focus on yourself. Focus on the things that you should have been focusing on when you couldn't focus on them because you were too wrapped up in something you knew was wrong. But you stayed because you love. So I know. Okay. But I also knew that I wasn't going to get 100%. So you suck it up. And you put your big girl panties on. And you focus on you. Because if you find yourself in a situation like I found myself in, there's no way other things in your life got attended to. Things that were supposed to be attended to and acknowledged. So That's your answer. You accept the pain. And you do what it is you do to get by. Don't pacify it with anybody else or something else. You put that pain into something creative. So own up to your shit so you can live your life the way you really want to. Because you can't live your life being in that situation that you were in or are still in. It's that simple. That is your answer. And it's not going to distract yourself from other things and other people, and you fall right back into the same cycle. You have to work on you. You gotta have enough respect for yourself. So for whoever's going through this, I'm sorry. You have to be strong enough to take yourself out of it. And for those who can't do that yet, I'm still here for you. You know what I mean? No one wants to leave those type of situations where you're getting love and comfort and you can feel the passion. And there's something more than what this is. No one wants to leave those situations. Definitely grew into who I am. Definitely has matured me, for sure. But I definitely did not want to own up to it. It's not easy. It's not easy. But again, for those who are on my channel and are subscribed and have been with me for a long time, or even newbies, your life's not meant to be easy. You're meant to teach and inspire, So do it. How many boogers? So there is situations, though, that I do see here and there that are destined. But it doesn't mean it's going to be easy peasy. Just because it's destined, you don't stay in the trash. It's like staying in the trash can. It's destined, so I'll just stay at the trash can in the trash a little longer. Because that's literally what you're doing. It's, you know what I mean? Like, you're letting all these things be exposed. It's just, I don't know why I thought of a trash can. But it's like, you're allowing yourself to, well, I can't put it like that. So why did they have me reference it that way? Me and my metaphors. But we all gonna find different ways to walk our path, But when other stuff in your life is being dismissed because of your current situation, like the real problem, you're just avoiding. Any questions? Oh yeah, I was saying about the destined situation. You still have to get yourself out of it though. You it can't be. It can still be destined, but until you're getting 100% and you can give each other 100%, destiny doesn't really kick in for that path to open up to bliss, and until you guys get there the right way. And you can't even tell you how many times I went back and forth. Like, maybe you should just, instead of getting caught, maybe you should just, leave your wife and tell her you're not happy with the scenario and you guys' agreement and there's so much more to live for. And I mean, there were so many times I thought to myself, I can do this. It just has to be done the right way. Maybe I can show him or talk him into this way would be easier than this way, or this way would be better than that way. Or if she was to find out, instead of you calling it off, you see what I'm saying? Like, I tried to justify it so many different ways because me, who I am, trying to find answers and thinking, okay, this must be what I need to do next. Like, if this is going to work, then there's got to be a right way. So maybe this is the right way, or this is the right way. No, the right way was to get out of it, for them to figure it out, because I was trying to figure out somebody else's situation. So it worked the right way for everyone. Yeah, that's so unrealistic. It really truly is. When you're in the right type of relationship. This is a whole nother story. So, I didn't really see any questions walk in like that. Are you still doing the show? Oh, good question. I've been meaning to tell you guys that for like a good month now. No. I decided a few weeks ago, almost a month ago, that I was not going to do it because it was 100% scripted. And I kept trying to work around that and I couldn't. So they would either replace me or call it off because there was 6 of us and 4 of us didn't agree. And then we thought, well, maybe certain stuff here and there, but my morals, after going through what I just went through, I knew I had to turn it down. Especially after I had just went through all that, and how if I would have just followed my morals in the first place, I wouldn't have found myself there. So I did the right thing. I really truly did, because I could have went on that show and guess what? They would have made me into somebody I wasn't. They could have told me, today you need to be a Republican. Oh, tomorrow, I want you to talk about liberals, or you know what I'm like. I couldn't chance it. It was too much of a risk. I am who I am because of how I got here. I chose to get where I am. Like, I couldn't be put in that position. And I was tempted. I was tempted with money. I was tempted with a lot of things. Okay? But at the end of the day, again, after the situation I just found myself in, when it came to morals and integrity, it was almost like perfect timing. I could have repeated a cycle. I could have got myself so screwed. It was a test. I could have got myself so screwed again after I just learned that lesson on integrity. After I already learned the lesson and I knew better, and I got tested and I still fell for it for 3.5 months. And then that came along, that came back up, and I shut it down. It was back and forth, almost 8 months through a contract, disclosure, you name it. Nope. Couldn't do it. I couldn't put my kids in that situation. I couldn't put myself in that situation. So, crows are going crazy right now. I made the right choice. And for those who, if the show continues, or goes on, or decides to film. Um, I'll let you guys know if you guys want to watch it. It'd be interesting, but I don't think it will. I really don't think it will. Too many things are scripted these days. It was supposed to be more of a spiritual mini docu-series, and it was turning into something that was all scripted, and you need to be put in this location for this show, and I need you to walk into this store. It was becoming more drama than a spiritual mini docu-series. The intentions were way different going into it. The insight was way different. It was more, you go ahead and tell your story, your life in the day of court, yada yada, and then all the other people, and then it turned into, you can't tell me there wouldn't have been drama and controversy on that show. It's entertainment. You know, nice to meet you. So, shut it down. Shut it down. And I didn't question it. And I did question it for almost 6 months, why contracts and final contracts and things were getting written up and going back and forth. Like, I tried to justify it, like, because I just found myself in that situation too, right? So it's like, like, thank God I just really stood my ground with the whole morals, you know? So I've been meaning to bring that up to you guys for a little while now. Yeah, drama sells. It would have been too much. I would have been somebody I wasn't. And what's that say for me? Look what I already created. I couldn't put myself in that situation. You know? Something else I wanted to bring up. Oh, just be careful with the fantasy that I've been watching on the board. Mama. Just be careful, because I think a lot of people let go and you're focused on that vision of the future. And it kind of keeps you guys going. But when you shut down, you need to shut down. When you shut something off, you need to shut it off. Don't just hit the switch. Unplug it from the outlet. You know what I mean? Unplug it, because in my situation, after 3.5 months, I was willing to take a leap of faith. Him, he looks at it as, there's no way I can take that risk, because it's 3.5 months. He's thinking on a practical, logical level, which is what this society does, right? And me, I'm so like, ooh, I'm gonna jump off the cliff and I'm gonna take a risk, because my soul is saying okay, right? Not to everything, but when my soul is saying okay and to do it, I do it, right? So it's real important. When I shut it down, I shut it down. You don't look into the future and say, okay, well, maybe in a couple months this person's going to leave, because realistically, I wouldn't expect somebody who's conditioned. I wouldn't expect somebody who is living their life the way they know how to live their life to ever agree to something like that. It is unrealistic to some people. To me, it was not unrealistic. But I'm not every other person. I'm my own special me. You know, so be careful. You can't let something go and hold the vision. See what I'm saying? I hope that makes sense. He was very logical, and I'm very spiritual, and the intensity was, it's overwhelming. Okay, so you can't truly move forward. If you just tell yourself, like, give it a couple months. Don't do that. When you let it go, you got to let it go. Because a lot of people will put this vision of something, especially if you already had a vision, you try to keep the vision. That's holding on. You really, in order to let go, you really got to cut the cord. Like I said, you can't just flip the switch. You got to pull it out of the outlet. Shut it down. Okay. So, just looking down at the 7 of Cups, and then, you know, under that, the 9 of Cups. And so it's just a lot. I know how people, because I've done it before too. You think it helps you, but that's not what helps you in the moment. It's just not. When you walk away, you walk away. You keep that vision in your head. Now, I want you to keep other visions in your head of certain stuff, but not, you can't walk away from a situation that you know you're not getting 100 from, but yet still vision a future in hopes because you think it makes you feel better. You're remaining in the same cycle. You will keep missing opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. I've missed opportunities. I'd say within the last few months, I missed a couple of really good opportunities of being able to plant certain seeds in certain places, but I didn't because I was distracted by other things, which is okay. Well, because I was trying to plant seeds. This was actually more than that, a few months ago, where the seeds were, they didn't need to be planted. That makes sense. So I feel like I'm officially out of that cycle. And now I can start a new one. You'd be insulted if someone called me a risk. Yeah, there was a few times where I was like, it doesn't make me wrong. And it doesn't make you wrong. Because I think this way and you think that way. And he knew that. But there was some times where I was insulted thinking the same thing. Absolutely. Because I was like, do you think I'm irresponsible? Just because this is how, what I believe in versus what you believe in? I did feel that way a few times. I was insulted. But I also didn't take it personally because I was dealing with somebody who's extremely intelligent and makes logical and practical decisions their whole life, with their life and even with their career. So I couldn't get angry. I used to just tell myself, you're not wrong and I'm not wrong. And that's it. You know? No one was wrong and right with those situations, but I did get a little insulted. Yep. But I also looked at his point of view. That was, me and him were really good about seeing each other's point of views and not taking it personally. But at first, I definitely got offended. Like, okay. Well, I already knew I walked in your life for a reason, so best of luck there, buddy. You know, that was in the very beginning. You know, and then he really just tries to understand. He doesn't have to understand. You know, but he truly does love me for who I am and vice versa. It was just not 100%. So I don't know what the future holds, but I do know you can't walk away and hold that vision. You know, see the truth. See the truth in a toxic situation. And sometimes I think you guys expect these situations to come to you, or somebody to expect or express the truth, and then you'll be able to find your answer. You're on this journey. I waited for a long time for somebody to come in and switch this, for someone to come in and switch that, when the whole time I had this capability of switching it myself. And it's hard and it's frustrating and it's heart aching. And sometimes it can be brutal. But until you realize when all these opportunities are presented on the board and certain things, it's your opportunity. Don't wait for the universe to plant something in front of your face. It's a very hard pill to swallow. Because I was really expecting in certain energies and reads, especially over between something coming our way that I was reading on the board, or you can get an email or a phone call or bump into the right person. Obviously, all that still exists. But if that type of energy didn't come in for you, okay, it was because you were supposed to create it. You were to stop repressing. You were to stop to do this or do that, or criticizing yourself, or you know what I mean? Like, it was for you to create. We're smart enough. We're the magician. We have every tool in the shed. But we lose track of insight in future sometimes because we find ourselves in situations that are frustrated and we feel like something should just be handed to us, or we feel like we just wait for another sign. We're only slowing ourselves down. I'll own up to my shit. I slowed myself down, expecting something to just come to me. It doesn't work that way. And it's so hard to know you have to do that work. It's hard, it's painful, and it's frustrating. And you just feel like, I can't do it. I've been there too. But I created this, so now I'm going to create new. Some people are meant to do the same thing their whole lives. Not me. And if you're one of my followers, chances are not you either. You know? Say you have a degree in being like a surgeon or something. I mean, that's different. Unless you can feel you're being pulled to go towards something different, then some people will do that. But like, to me, like, reading cards the rest of my life is not a thing. Do I help and heal? Yep. But I've also learned throughout the years that I have the ability to heal, and I have a lot of abilities that I don't get to put to use. And how long have I been saying that to you? Because I've been waiting for something to come to me, and I was wrong. I had to put in the work. I had to put in the brain, the creativity. I'm a Cancer sun and a Scorp rising. You know, so the opportunity is always out there, but you have to be the one to partake. Create. Gotta stay disciplined. Gotta stay focused. Because, you know, the show came along, and then I did the other job for a little while in the city. That came along, and all these things were coming along, and then finally it just kind of like slowed down. And I knew it. My brain, my soul had been telling me the whole time to create something new. And I am working on something. I should have been working on it a little bit more than I have been, and I'm definitely going to start doing that, working on it more now. But all the people, all the artists, certain things, they worked hard to figure it out. They pushed through. Someone didn't give them the answers. When you're creative, someone just doesn't give you the answers. You have to use that creative energy. You have to channel it. It's what makes you creative. Ding dong. Sometimes I'm like, why did I learn so late in life? But then I always tell you guys, I'm kind of glad I did, so I can live the last cycle of my life the right way and happy. You know? I'm glad I actually endured all that stuff. You know? So got all sorts of stuff in my chart. I don't like to really discuss my chart like that because it's easy for if people start knowing degrees and angles and what conjuncts what and stallions and all the stuff you guys are talking about. Somebody who plays with magic can instantly mess with you. So I'm real particular on sharing that. I will tell you under this description box, I did do a new setup. You'll notice if you click the link description box below the little triangle going down, there's 3 readings, 30-minute readings for 50, 60, 70. It's kind of one of those, you choose what you can afford. You're going to get the same type of reading, the same type of attention. I just wanted to make it more affordable for certain people, to give you the option, what can you afford? I also added a link for 10 questions with a pendulum. Okay. And they're yes and no's. Could you possibly get a maybe? Yeah, but Spirit knows I'm doing yes and no's. Okay, so you will find those links below. And they are available to you. And I did them at reasonable prices. And I did put reads back up because I need you guys to know where you're at. I want to be able to give you the answers and insight. And if I got to be the bad guy and deliver the news and tell you you're dealing with a dick, I'm going to tell you you're dealing with a dick. Or you're dealing with this one. Or you're dealing with that one. Because it's important to be honest and get you on track. Because some of you are dealing with people you think are twins that are not. Or you're with someone because you feel like you need to be. Or you're having a hard time leaving because of emotional manipulation or mental manipulation. Like, I'm able to pinpoint all those things and tell you what's happening in the next 4 to 6 weeks. You know what I mean? Like, and I wanted to just give you guys that opportunity to, so they were a little more affordable for you guys so I can continue to help, So I did stop the via phone and the emergencies because I do have to concentrate on other stuff right now. But if it really is an emergency, email me. And if I have availability compared to what I'm doing or I feel the need to, this one needs it, I will. So the reads are up there now. Okay. Not in any of my older videos, but in this video, moving forward, it's updated. And I do have my sun, moon, rise, Venus. I do have the degrees and what they are there. Because a lot of people like to know that stuff. So that is up there. But that is one of the reasons why I don't give away that information. But Lala, I've known you since I've been on. I can answer that through email for you because I trust you. But I am really protective about your chart, my chart, and you should be about yours too. That's your whole DNA. That's your blueprint, troops. Be real careful who you send that chat to. And it's not the first time I mentioned that. Be real careful on who you send that chat to read your chat. Believe that. It's not the first time I've mentioned that to you guys. Okay? That's how that dark energy gets a grip of thousands of you. So, I am going to have some lunch and I'll be back. Thank you for all the support and the encouragement, guys. I hope I can, same intentions, inspire you guys to do what's best for you. Yeah, definitely protect the chat. Oh, I know, Mama. Okay, so again, I'm gonna eat lunch in ball black magic scary. Yeah, with the whole chat thing. Yeah, you gotta be careful. That's your blueprint. People's like, oh, it's just a piece of paper. I want to learn my chat. guys. That's your blueprint. It's part of your blueprint. Be careful. That's like a social security card. You don't just give a reader your social security card, right? Nope. Be smart. But I want to use the Halloween deck, and I want to come back and do a reading. But I want to eat first. Ooh, brisket. I love brisket. I haven't had barbecue in a long time. So I love you guys. I really, truly hope this video has helped. And just tell yourself at the end of the day what's most important. And it really boils down to, are you getting 100%? You can be in a relationships and have your ups and downs and not giving 100%. But if somebody was to tell you, are you all in? And they say, yeah, but there's still a marriage attached to that. You can't be all in. You cannot give 100%. You cannot have the romance that you're looking for when somebody else is married. You can't. It's not possible. It is not a thing. Okay. So much more I just wanted to talk about that is linked to what I was just talking about, but I really want to have lunch. Let me see. I don't know. If you really want to know where you're at, please get a reading. It honestly will help you to know where you're at. Okay? And limit yourself on readers, please. And take my advice when I give you my advice. You can live such a happy life in a very simple manner if you actually take the steps to simple. There's such simple ways to get to happiness, but I've said it before, simple seems to be the hardest thing for people because there's so much other stuff attached to that one thing. But that's all conditioning. It's how you perceive it. It's what you want out of your life. You know? Can't convince anyone otherwise. It's not your job. No, whose? Oh, Nat's Fall Moon. No, I haven't watched any in a few days. I talk to almost every day. I did notice the other day I put something on and I forget which one it is. She's like, oh, Court, I was doing the Gemini reading. And like, it was just like you the entire time. Like you were coming through for 20 minutes and then I looked over and it wasn't recording. And I called in the middle of it. And I was like, well, fill me in. She's like, well, I can't remember. So that whole part actually didn't get recorded because it was actually about me. Like she felt it the whole time and she knew it was like, oh man, I love when that happens. Well, it kind of does suck when that happens, but so it was like my own little personal video. So then she had to go and do another one for Gemini. I think she's still working on it. But I have a lot of Gemini in my chart. I have 4 placements of Gemini, and I got 5 placements of Scorpio, and I have a stallion in Scorpio too. And I got 4 places of Taurus, so it's like, whoo-wee, you know. But I got a kick out of that. But no, I didn't see a Scorpio yet. No. No. Yeah, I remember when I first started reading charts, I was like, holy shit, I have that much air in my chart. And Gemini, too. So yeah. I have Cancer and my Mercury too. My Sun and my Mercury. By giving that for information, that's fine. But when you start talking about details, that's different because it's the details and the degrees that make the difference. You know? So, anywho, I'm going to go eat lunch so I can come back and yappity with you guys. You know? So, everyone take a big breath. Know it's going to be okay. You just got to take initiative after your own dreams. You just got to go for them. You just got to do the right thing. Whether it hurts or not, you got to do the freaking right thing. And that's when you're going to start finding yourselves in really good situations. You know what I mean? Jelly beans. So I love you guys. I should be back in about 20 minutes. Okay? I love you.